A very fresh morning, 11th class. So we are here moving towards our lecture number 6, and we are going to finish Bryophytes today, right? Are you fresh to learn with me? Bryophytes, most of you now understood that what is the general characteristics of bryophytes, which we already discussed in our lecture 5, yesterday's lecture, right? If you have not if you have not noted down the general characteristics, so then I will request that first please read the general characteristics of bryophytes, because otherwise this lecture will be a kind of waste. You will not be able to understand this lecture, right? Because now we are going to further talk about the classification of bryophytes, and bryophytes are majorly, they are generally divided into two categories. Mostly बच्चों को पता नहीं रहता है कि liverworts and mosses, they are examples of what? They are actually बच्चों, they are our bryophytes. Bryophytes are majorly divided into two main classes, and those classes are liverworts. And one by one, I am going to discuss these two with the these two classes with you today. First, let's talk about the liverworts. Right? When we were talking about the general characteristics of bryophytes, then we talked about two examples, Rixia and Marcantia or Marcantia, right? Rixia and Marcantia, both they are known as the primitive bryophytes. We said that why they are our primitive bryophytes, because these two, they have a thalloid body, thallus like body they have, and they do not have well developed vascular tissue. When they do not have, definitely the more advanced plants, they have highly developed vascular tissue, but these are the plants, these are the bryophytes. This is a type of class of bryophyte which do not have you know vascular tissue. They are unicellular, they have unicellular unbranched rhizoids, which we drawn in the our previous yesterday's diagram also, that they have this rhizoids through which they are attached to the substratum, and these unbranched rhizoids, they help them in the absorption. Although roots work is also absorption, function is same, but they are root like, they are not the roots, they are known as rhizoids. Moisture is required. What was the reason that bryophytes, they need moisture? They grow in moist and shady areas. The reason was that they need water for their fertilization process, right? During the sexual reproduction, they need water, because male gametes has to travel to the female gametes, so they grow in moist and shady areas. Same, Rixia and Marcantia, they have thallus like body, and they show dichotomous branching. Dichotomous branching means if every single branch, it is divided into two, it is divided into two. And in Rixia, there is a very important thing, that this kind of rosette, rosette, आप समझते हो कि rosette is like a rosette structure. It's, you can say, kind of your पत्ता गोभी structure. your जो आपने पत्ता गोभी सबने देखी होगी, सो वो उसमें देयर इज वन अबव द अदर लेयर. सो सेम रोजेट काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रक्चर इज ऑब्जर्व्ड इन द रिक्शिया ऑल्सो. दैट इज द, दिस स्ट्रक्चर इज नोन एज रोजेट, वन अबव द अनदर. इन मार्केंशिया ये रिबन लाइक लगते हैं, बहुत लंबे ribbon like structure is observed. I show you the picture, one very beautiful picture of, as you can see, this is the rixia. Just look, that this is called dichotomous branches, one, and then it is two, right? This is called rosette kind of arrangement. And look at the marcantia, it is long, it is not the width wise, it is long, ribbon like long structure it has. This is the one, and this is the second one. This is called dichotomous branches. Beautiful structures they, these both bryophytes have, and these are the liverworts. Okay, now if we move on to the asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, It takes place by the fragmentation. Fragmentation is the main mode, and in fragmentation also there is a formation of specialized structures which is known as gamma. Gamma is kind of green buds, and these are produced in the gamma cups. When you if we draw, as you can see here, let me change the color. If you can see here that this is one ribbon like structure of long dorsal view of your Mertensia, and here in the central part there is these cups, and inside these cups, on these cups, there is a green leafy structure you will observe, and these are known as gamma, right? So they help in asexual reproduction. So this question comes asked in exam. The gamma cups, that is the characteristic feature of liverworts, and they produce gamma, which are the green leafy buds. Sex organs, two sex organs, that is the male gametes, and female organ, that is antheridia and archaegonia. They produce on the same, they can produce either on the same or the different thallus bodies also. Now, one major characteristic we discussed in the bryophyte, that they have predominant phase is definitely gametophyte, but they have sporophytic body also, and sporophyte is dependent on gametophyte, which consists of foot, seta and capsule. And capsule store, this capsule, it stores spore mother cells. These spore mother cells, they undergo meiosis and they form haploid spores, and these spores germinate to give rise to the live gametophyte. This is the basic characteristics of Rixia and Mertensia. And the one major, again one more time I am saying that gamma is the leafy multicellular buds which are formed in the gamma cups, and this is the characteristic feature of liverworts. So two major examples of liverworts, that is the Rixia and Mertensia, right? The next is about the mosses. Now let's move on to the mosses. Mosses, again, the dominant phase in the bryophyte is the gametophytic phase, and mosses has two main stages which are known as Protonema stage, which you can juvenile stage, and one is the adult leafy stage, which is, you can say, that is the mature stage. So two stage, that is the juvenile when the young stage, and one is the adult leafy stage, which is the mature stage. Juvenile or the Protonema stage, it is develops directly by the germination of spores. So how does it look like? The mosses hai, they are very green structures, green creeping branch filamentous structure. In mature stage, there is which kind of body we are going to observe? As you can see, there is the rhizoids, root like structure is observed, that is the rhizoids. And then there is the main axis. This main axis is our stem like structure, and it is known as colloid. It is known as colloid. And on this main axis there are leaves which are arranged, and this is called phylloid, right? Main axis is known as colloid, and this is known as phylloid. Leaf like structure is known as phylloid, and this whole body is a gametophyte. It is a gametophyte which is having rhizoid, which is having your colloid and phylloid. Now, if we enlarge this one rhizoid, इसको थोड़ा सा बड़ा करते हैं. If you look at this rhizoid, this is a long multicellular actually structure which has this जिसको आप बोलते हो स्लांटिंग लाइन टाइप ऑब्लीक सेप्टम. यूजली सेप्टम कैसे होता है, डिवीजन कैसे होती है, इन द हॉरिजॉन्टल मैनर, बट हेयर द सेप्टा इज ऑब्लीक. And this rhizoids, they look transparent when they are young, and when they are mature they turn into reddish brown color, right? So from this further divided into the two branches. As you can see, this is the dichotomous branches because mostly they show. So there is that they divided into two. Again, they have a leafy like structure. This one branch is known as male branch and another branch is known as female branch. The moment I say male branch and female branch, now you will ask, ma'am, कोई डिफरेंस तो दिख नहीं रहा है कि मेल ब्रांच कौन सी है एंड फीमेल ब्रांच कौन सी है. हाउ डू वी आइडेंटिफाई दैट विच वन इज मेल ब्रांच एंड विच वन इज female branch? On the tip of male branch, which is actually known as male head, there is the growth of male sex organ which is known as antheridium, right? And on the tip of female branch, there is a known as female head and female sex organ is developed which is known as Archaegonia. So basically that is depending on the male and female parts. If antheridium is developing, then it is known as male branch. If Archaegonia is developing at the tip, then it will be a female branch. Then sporophyte usually and mostly, or you can say always, it develops from the female branch. So here you can see this seta is developed and there is the capsule and this is the sporophytic structure. This is later one is the gametophytic body and upper one is the sporophytic structure. So after fertilization, and usually what happen is, if suppose you are drawing, this is the rhizoids, this is the female and this is the male branch. Usually what happen is that after fertilization the female branch remains erect, मीन्स एकदम सीधी रहती है. एंड एडल्ट लीफी स्टेज जो कि मैच्योर स्टेज है, दैट बियर्स योर सेक्स ऑर्गन्स एट द टिप, एंथ्रीडिया एंड Archaegonia. Vegetative reproduction is definitely by fragmentation and budding, and sexual reproduction, in the sexual reproduction, antheridia and Archaegonia play a major role, which are produced at the tip of adult leafy gametophyte. कोई भी, no one of you will mark that antheridia and Archaegonia they are developed in the Protonema stage. No, they are developed in the secondary Protonema, which is your adult leafy gametophytic stage, which is your mature stage of bryophyte, or you can say mature stage in the mosses, right? So now there will be the male gamete will be produced and it will form female gamete, which will be egg. Now they will fuse, zygote will be formed because it is diploid, so sporophyte will develop. Sporophyte will have food seta capsule. Capsule is having the few cells which will act as spore mother cells. They undergo meiosis. क्योंकि meiosis कौन सी division है? Reductional division. Reductional division means now the gametophyte body that will be haploid, which will be your Protonema stage. And the best example which we can quote in the mosses, that is the Funaria and Sphagnum. What was the example in the Liverwort? That was your Rixia and Markentia. And here Funaria, as you can see, this is the capsule-like structure. That is the seta, long seta that is observed in the Funaria. And Sphagnum. Sphagnum is a leafy, right? Now, Sphagnum is a very you will observe like there are the leafy kind of structure, that is the Sphagnum. So these are the few important classes of bryophytes, that is your liverwort and mosses. The second sometimes question which is asked in exam, that is the from the importance of bryophytes bryophytes, right? As If we talk about the general importance of bryophytes, now mosses, they provide food. Mosses, they provide food for herbaceous animals, right? Those which eat grass, those which they feed on the green leaves. So that is a food for the mammals, birds, as well as other animals. So that is the first importance of the bryophytes, that is a food for the other animals. Then what about the sphagnum? Sphagnum is also very very important. Sphagnum is a moss, right? And it provide peat. If you recall it, then peat is used as a fuel, right? It is used as a fuel, and sometime also used as packing material, especially when they have to transport from one place to the another, which need high moisture. That time they are wrapped around as a packing material, that is for the used as a packing material for, you can write down that, for transshipment of living materials, because of their high water holding capacity. Because of the moss's high water holding capacity, it is used as the packing material, right? Then it is also, then we did that they also play a major role in the grafting also. Then they form one another very important benefit of mosses is they form dense mats. As you can see, they are the leafy small plants, dense mats on the soil. And because of this, because they are covering the major area, hence the soil erosion by rains can be prevented. So basically they prevent soil erosion because they form a major dense layer on the soil, and also they play a major role in the grafting also. So these are the some important points of bryophytes. So go through so here we are finished with the bryophytes. Go through these two lectures, lecture number 5 and this lecture number 6. You will be able to clear your idea about the bryophytes and will be able to solve